विद्यार्थी मित्रांनो, आज आपण पेपर सेकंड मधील तिसरा धडा युजफुल अँड हार्मफुल मायक्रोब्स पाहूया. Microbes means microorganisms. Microorganisms सूक्ष्मजीव. But how useful and harmful, उपयुक्त आणि हार्मफुल उपद्रवी सूक्ष्मजीव असं या पाठाचं नाव आहे. In each lesson we try to understand useful microorganisms, that is the lactobacilli, ribosium, yeast, and harmful microorganisms, that is the clostridium and other microorganisms which are harmful to our daily life. Okay. Now, before we see this useful and harmfulness of microbes or microorganisms, it is very important to know that what is meant by microbes and what are their characteristics. Okay. What is meant by microbes? Microbes is the living organisms and they cannot be seen by our eyes, and maximum microbes are unicellular organisms. That is the characteristics, and they cannot be seen in your open eye. For their observation, we can use the different type of apparatus, that is the compound microscope, simple microscope, or any other instruments. Okay. How did you observe microbes? Where did you observe microbes? Microbes are found into the buttermilk or the nodules of the plants. Anywhere the microbes are found or observed, and we can easily observe microbes by using the instruments, and that is the कोणतं उपकरण वापरतात? सूक्ष्मदर्शक. मग तो कंपाऊंड सूक्ष्मदर्शक असेल किंवा अजून दुसरा कोणता सिंपल असेल किंवा इलेक्ट्रॉन मायक्रोस्कोप असेल. You are familiar with different types of microbes which are all around us but cannot be seen with our eyes. In what way are they related to our daily life? We cannot be seen with our eyes. The microbes cannot be seen with our eyes. In what way? They are related to our everyday life, but they are related to our everyday lives to us. Our many foodstuff contains microorganisms, or the microorganisms present into the air, into the soil, any other places microorganisms are found. Now first the useful microorganisms means उपयुक्त सूक्ष्मजीव. In which first we try to understand, that is the lactobacillus or bacilli, the name of microorganisms. Okay. We try to some characteristics of these microorganisms. Simmer a drop of fresh buttermilk on a glass slide, stain it with a methyl blue and put a cover slip over it. Simple. What we do? We prepare a glass slide of buttermilk. And what is meant by buttermilk? ताक. एक ताकाचा थेंब काचपट्टीवर घेऊन त्याच्यावर कवर स्लिप झाकून त्याची एक काचपट्टी तयार करणे आणि एक रंजक मेथिल ब्ल्यू त्याच्यामध्ये टाकणे आणि काचपट्टी करणे. त्यासाठी व्हॉट इज द यूज ऑफ दॅट ग्लास स्लाइड? इट पुट अंडर द compound microscope and observe the buttermilk. Okay. Now see, observe the same under the 10x objective of compound microscope, and then with the more powerful 60x objective. 10 पट किंवा 60 पट magnifying compound microscope we use to observe the same earth. ही काचपट्टी पाहण्यासाठी आपल्याला 10 पट किंवा 60 पट इतकं मोठी प्रतिमा निर्माण करेल असं कंपाऊंड मायक्रोस्कोप पाहिजे की नाही. तू पाहिजे का? हाऊ टू लुक द कंपाऊंड मायक्रोस्कोप. वी ट्राय टू ऑब्जर्व द compound microscopes. That is the compound microscope. Okay, and the same are placed under this objective lens of that compound microscope. Okay, that is the compound microscope. Now, what did you notice under the microscope, and what is contained the same earth? Did you notice the blue rod shaped organism moving around? तुम्हाला काय दिसेल काचपट्टीमध्ये? ब्ल्यू रॉड shaped organisms moving around, and they are lactobacillus, and त्यांना lactobacillus असं म्हणतात. Where is they found? They found into the buttermilk. म्हणजे buttermilk contains this type of bacteria or microorganisms. आपण तर ताक खातो, त्याचा इडिबल म्हणून उपयोग करतो, खाद्यपदार्थ म्हणून उपयोग करतो, मग त्याच्यात तर बॅक्टेरिया आहेत, मायक्रोऑर्गॅनिझम आहेत. But these microorganisms does not harm to our body because they are useful to us. And lactobacilli, a kind of bacteria, जीवाणूचा प्रकार आहे. They are minute. कशा आहे? Minute, rectangular in shape. Lactobacillus are anaerobic bacteria. Lactobacillus are anaerobic bacteria means विनाक्षी शोषण करणारे जीवाणू. Anaerobic bacteria means they does not use oxygen for the energy or respiration. They can produce energy without using oxygen. This bacteria is known as anaerobic bacteria. Now see, can you tell, आपण सांगू शकतो का, how is liver made from milk? What exactly happened in this process? दुधापासून दही, liver. How to make, and what exactly happened during this process? Now try to understand. The lactobacilli convert lactose. Lactobacilli is the bacteria which convert the lactose and the sugar in the milk. Lactose काय आहे? Sugar in the milk. Lactose is sugar in the milk. And lactobacilli काय करतो? Lactobacilli convert lactose into lactic acid. Lactobacilli convert lactose into the lactic acid, and this process is called fermentation, and that process is known as fermentation. And fermentation in Marathi त्याला किन्नोन असं म्हणतात. किन्नोन, आंबोली. Lactose, that is the sugar in the milk which are converted into the lactic acid. and this process is known as process. This process is known as fermentation. As a result, the pH of milk decreases. During this process, what happens? The pH of milk. pH means percentage of hydrogen, and this pH of milk decrease. And due to this, what happens? Coagulation of milk proteins. Coagulation of milk proteins. दुधामधल्या प्रोटीनचं काय होईल? गोठतात त्या ठिकाणी. Thus, milk protein are separated from other constituent of the milk. And काय होतं? Milk protein, when the milk protein coagulated, then it's separated from other constituent from the milk. And this is what happens when milk changes into the yogurt. Okay. How does milk change into the yogurt? There is the lactic acid converts the lactose sugar into the lactic acid, and this process is known as the fermentation. And due to this, what happens? The pH of milk decreases, and it causes the coagulation of milk protein, and this milk protein is separated from the other constituent from the milk, and there is formation of yogurt. In this way, the milk converted or changed into yogurt. Yogurt has a specific sour taste due to the lactic acid, and low pH destroy the harmful microbes present in the milk. What is the characteristics of yogurt? Yogurt is sour taste, and due to the lactic acid मुळे त्याला काय होते? आंबट चव येते. And the pH low, pH become low, and low pH destroy the harmful microbes present into the milk. So yogurt is very useful or important. Now use your brain power and try to answer this question. What do doctor advise you to have yogurt or buttermilk if you have indigestion or abdominal discomfort? जर आपल्याला अपचन, इंडायजेशन और ॲबडॉमिनल डिस्कम्फर्ट म्हणजे पोट दुखत असेल, पोटात जर त्रास होत असेल, अशा वेळी डॉक्टर दही किंवा ताक खाण्याचा सल्ला का देतात? बिकॉज इथंच दिलं जातं. तर द लो pH डिस्ट्रॉय द हार्मफुल मायक्रोब्स प्रेझेंट इन द मिल्क. Yogurt has the specific sour taste due to the lactic acid, and due to the low pH it destroys the harmful microbes present into the milk, and due to this it also destroys the harmful microorganisms from the abdominal, and due to this we become rest or we will become comfortable. Sometimes yogurt becomes bitter and fourth up. Why does this happen? काय वेळेस काय होतं की दही जे आहे कडू होतं, bitter and fourth त्याला फेस येतो. Why does this happen? असं का होतं? तर आफ्टर लॉंग टाइम, बराच काळ दही तसं ठेवलं तर काय होतं? The lactic acid becomes, or the other different type of microorganisms are prepared into the yogurt, that is the clostridiums are formed in the yogurt, and due to this is the harmful bacteria, and due to this the yogurt become bitter and fructose. Okay, which different milk product are obtained at home by fermentation of the cream from the milk? गाईच्या दुधाच्या साईपासून कोणते पदार्थ किण्वन प्रक्रियेने बनवले जातात? तर तुमच्या घरी जर if you have the kettles, you know that how to prepare milk, but how to prepare buttermilk, yogurt or ghee, and these all products prepared by using the fermentation of cream from the milk. Now see, do you know what is meant by the probiotic yogurt and other foodstuffs that are popular nowadays? Probiotic yogurt and other foodstuffs that are popular nowadays because it contains the useful microbes like the lactobacillus are added in these eatables. अशा खाद्यपदार्थामध्ये आपल्याला उपयुक्त असे सूक्ष्मजीव असतात आणि त्याच्यामुळे काय होतं such eatables are healthy and why these are healthy because they kill the harmful bacteria like the clostridium in the alimentary canal and help to improve the immunity. आपल्या एलिमेंटरी कॅनल ज्या अन्न नलिका ज्या त्याच्यामध्ये असलेले हार्मफुल बॅक्टेरिया लाईक द क्लोस्ट्रिडियम अशा दॅट इज अ हार्मफुल बॅक्टेरिया क्लोस्ट्रिडियम आणि अशा बॅक्टेरियाला काय केलं जातं तर मारलं जातं. युजफुल मायक्रोब्स किल दिस टाईप ऑफ द बॅक्टेरिया विच आर हार्मफुल टू अस which are present into the alimentary canal and help to improve our immunity. आणि आपली जी काही इम्युनिटी आहे रोगप्रतिकारशक्तीला मजबूत करण्याचं कार्य करते. नाव सी द uses of lactobacilli. Lactobacilli is microorganism which are the bacteria and it is the useful for us. Now see the uses of lactobacilli. त्याचे उपयोग काय आहेत लॅक्टोबॅसिलचे? वेरियस मिल्क प्रोडक्ट लाईक योगर्ट, बटर मिल्क, घी, चीज, श्रीखंड etc. can be obtained by fermentation of milk. Okay. Second use of lactobacilli. Lactobacillus fermentation is useful for the large scale production of cider, that is the drink, coca, it is also type of drink, pickle of vegetables, भाज्यांची लोणची त्यांचं किण्वन करण्यासाठी fermentation करण्यासाठी lactobacilli is useful. Now the third use of lactobacilli. Lactobacilli and some other useful microbes taken together are used to treat abdominal discomfort. Lactobacilli and some other useful microbes taken together, that is the treatment about the abnormal abdominal or the abdominal discomfort. पोटदुखी वगैरे असेल. Fourth, leavened fodder offered to domestic cattle like cows and buffalo is a fodder fermented with the help of lactobacilli. leavened fodder म्हणजे आंबोन त्याला मराठीमध्ये म्हणतात आणि हे दुभत्या जनावरांना काय करतात देतात. Domestic cattle like cow, buffalo and this fodder fermented with the help of lactobacilli. And the fifth use of lactobacilli, the lactobacilli fermentation process is used to make the wine and some type of bread. Lactobacilli fermentation process is used to make the wine, मद्य तयार करण्यासाठी आणि काही विशिष्ट प्रकारचे ब्रेड्स तयार करण्यासाठी लॅक्टोबॅसिलीचा उपयोग होतो. ओके. Now see research how many different industries depend upon the lactobacilli bacteria. कोणकोणते उद्योग लॅक्टोबॅसिलिस या जीवाणूवर आधारित आहेत. ते सिंपल वाईन, ब्रेड, ओके, कोका, cider, pickle of vegetable, ghee, buttermilk, cheese, श्रीखंड etc. These all industries are depend upon the lactobacilli bacteria. Okay. Now, which type of cottage industry and factories can be started in areas with abundant milk production? ज्या ठिकाणी abundant milk product होतो, खूप मोठ्या प्रमाणात दूध उत्पादन होते. त्या ठिकाणी कोणत्या प्रकारचे उद्योग निर्माण होतात. अबाउट द मिल्क, देअर आर yogurt, buttermilk, ghee, cheese, refined milk powder, etc. These are the products formed into these factories. Now the next microorganisms, microbes, and that is the ribosome. आपण समजलं आपल्याला सर्व समजलेलं आहे. Lactobacilli, the microorganism, and how, where is they are present, and how to observe or watch the lactobacilli, and what is the work of lactobacilli in our daily life. We have seen and uses of lactobacilli. Now the next microorganism, that is the ribosome, symbiotic bacteria. Ribosome means the name of bacteria, and symbiotic means सहजीवी जीवाणु. Symbiotic bacteria. Ribosome means symbiotic bacteria. How to symbiosis symbiotic bacteria, how to work. Now let us try this. Take a plantlet of fenugreek, groundnut, or any other bean and sterilize it with 3 to 5% solution of hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide is the chemical. Hydrogen peroxide. Take a plantlet of fenugreek, methi, groundnut, bulgur, or any other beans, dals, and sterilize निर्जंतुक करा 3 ते 5% solution of hydrogen peroxide, and after keep it in 70% solution of ethyl alcohol, hydrogen peroxide, H2O2, and त्याच्यानंतर काय करा, after keep it into the 70% solution of ethyl alcohol, keep it at the fenugreek, groundnut, or any other bean. It sterilized 3 to 5% solution of hydrogen peroxide, and then keep it into the 70% solution of ethyl alcohol, and the formula of ethyl alcohol, that is the C2H5OH, chemical formula of ethyl alcohol. It must be remember that formula C2H5OH. That is the, we can write this C2H5OH. That is the formula of ethyl alcohol. Now see, for 4 to 5 minutes, clean the root with sterile water and take the thin section of the root nodules. What happened during the 4 to 5 minutes? This plant place or keep into 70% ethyl alcohol, then keep it and clean the root with sterilized water and take thin section of the root nodules. त्याच्यामुळे असले जी रूट नोड्यूल्स आहे त्याचा एक thin section, एक पातळ काप घ्या. Select good section and place in a solution of saffron. Saffron त्याला रंजक आहे, एक सॅफ्रिन केमिकल आहे. त्याच्यामुळे 2 ते 3 मिनिट त्या गाठीचा जो काप आहे, छेद आहे, तो ठेवा. Place sterile section on glass slide and then place it into the glass slide. Cover it with cover slip and observe it under the compound microscope. The pinkish rod-shaped organisms are the ribosome bacteria, rod-shaped and pinkish color. And this is the ribosome bacteria. Okay. Note that we had to search for the root nodules of leguminous plant. Leguminous plant means, what is the leguminous plant? The शिंबावर्गीय वनस्पती, शेंगा येणाऱ्या वनस्पती. टू ऑप्टेन दिस बॅक्टेरिया, त्यांच्या मुळाच्या वर गाठी असतात आणि त्या गाठीमध्ये ह्या प्रकारचे रायबोझियम्स मायक्रो ऑर्गॅनिझम्स असतात. द पिक्चर आर गिवन, दॅट इज द रॉड शेप pinkish color ribosium bacteria. Okay, and that is the root nodules cross section, and that is the root is the soybean plants. This is the cross section of root nodules. Now the radius cells, how to cell division occurs, growth of root nodules, bacteroids, conducting tissue of nodules, etc. Now, are the ribosome bacilli useful of this plant or harmful? मग हे जे ribosome bacillus आहे, it is a very important to this plant. Now, how does it important? It is not harmful to the plant. How to the ribosome are important to the all leguminous plants? And how does it important? We see into the next article, that is the role and importance of ribosome. Role and importance. The role काय आहे, तो काय करतो microorganism into the nodules on the root of the leguminous plant. Now try to understand. Ribosea, rhizobia, the name of bacteria living in the root nodules, मुळाच्या गाठीवर. root nodules, मुळाच्या गाठीवर तो राहतो. and supply, नुसतं राहत नाही, not only it living in root nodules of leguminous plant. मग काय करतो? it supply nitrates, nitrites and amino acid to plant. Ribosome काय करतो? it supply, what supply? nitrates, nitrites and amino acid to plant. Ribosome. And in exchange, आणि त्याच्या बदल्यामध्ये काय घेतो? get energy in the form of carbohydrates. The carbohydrate is the food which makes plant by using the photosynthesis, and these carbohydrates are used for the energy by the ribosome. And such mutually beneficial relationship is called a symbiosis. And this type of mutual beneficial, परस्पर फायदा करण्याचं जे रिलेशनशिप आहे, that is the symbiosis. Means ribosea give to the plant nitrate, nitrites, amino acid which are useful to prepare the food to plant, and due to this exchange and in exchange, आणि त्याच्या बदल्यात ribosea काय घेतो? the carbohydrate from plant. वनस्पतीपासून कार्बोहायड्रेट घेतो. म्हणजेच ribosome is depend upon to the plant and plant is depend upon to the ribosome for the nutrients. त्यांचे एकमेकांचे पोषणद्रव्य घेण्यासाठी, जगण्यासाठी ते एकमेकावर अवलंबून असतात. and that is a mutual beneficial relationship. And this type of relationship is the mutual beneficial relationship and it's called as symbiosis. त्याला सहजीवन असं म्हणतात. कळलं? What is the symbiosis? Symbiosis means the rhizobia, the microorganism, will supply nitrates, nitrites and amino acid to the plant and in exchange it gets the energy from the carbohydrate from it, and such mutual beneficial relationship is known as symbiosis. Now rhizobia produce the nitrogenous compound from atmospheric nitrogen. Rhizobia produce nitrogenous compound from atmospheric nitrogen. That is the nitrogen fixation. However, for this process of nitrogen fixation, that is the nitrogen fixation in which ribosea produce nitrogenous compound from the atmospheric nitrogen, and this process is known as nitrogen fixation, and they need the leguminous plant, and this prepared nitrogenous compound by the ribosea. रायबोजियाने नायट्रोजनस कंपाउंड बनवलेले आहेत. कशाचा उपयोग करून? वातावरणातील atmospheric nitrogen, and this process is known as the nitrogen fixation. But which type of? Biological nitrogen fixation. And this nitrogenous compound is necessary for the leguminous plants. शिंबावर्गीय वनस्पतींना असा नायट्रोजनची कंपाउंडची खूप आवश्यकता असते. And which are the leguminous plants? Example: beans, sweet pea, soybean, etc. As the host bean and pulses are rich in proteins, and due to the nitrogenous compound made available by ribosea, म्हणून अशा डाळी ज्या आहेत pulses and beans यांच्यामध्ये प्रोटीन खूप जास्त असते. ते प्रोटीन कशापासून येतं? These proteins are due to the nitrogenous compound, and this nitrogenous compound is made by the ribosome, but it supplied to the plant. Okay, these compounds made available by ribosome, and actually compound ribosome here for that. Now so the next, after harvesting of leguminous crop, harvesting. सुगीच्या काळामध्ये लेग्युमिनस प्लांट्स काढल्यानंतर काय करतात? द लेफ्ट ओव्हर रूट्स अँड अदर प्लांट्स पार्ट इज डिलिबरेटेड डम्प्ड इन द फार्म. Deliberated dumped in the farm after the harvesting. Soil to maintain is the bacterial population. अशी जी मुळं आहेत, त्याच्यावर गाठी आहेत, त्या मुळं काय करतात तर जमिनीमध्ये गाडून टाकतात. बिकॉज व्हॉट इज द रिझन? टू मेंटेन द बॅक्टेरियल पॉप्युलेशन. द यूज ऑफ रायबोझियम हॅज हेल्प्ड टू रिड्यूस द यूज ऑफ केमिकल फर्टिलायझर्स and thereby adverse effect. It has also helped to reduce the expense on fertilizer and thus the work beneficial to farm. Ribosomes help to reduce the use of chemical fertilizers. Farmers use the chemical fertilizer for the well growth of plant, but the ribosome is used to, or it works help to the growth of plant because it supplies to the nitrogenous compound which are required the growth of plant, and due to this it is a useful, and due to this the farmer can be reduce the use of chemical fertilizer. And chemical fertilizer has the adverse effect on the human body or any other living organism, and this adverse effect can be reduced by the ribosome if the farmer uses the ribosomes. It has also helped to reduce expense. खर्च सुद्धा कमी लागतो because the chemical fertilizer is costly, and does the work to the beneficial farmer. म्हणून ribosomes is benefit of farmer. It gives the benefit to the farmers. Nowadays seeds are coated with ribosome solution or powder before sowing. आजकाल काय केलं जातं, तर जे बिया आहेत ह्या रायबोझियल सोल्युशन और पावडरमध्ये कोट केलं जातं, थर दिला जातो पेरणीच्या अगोदर. रायबोझिया enters the plant head and this is called the ribozoal inoculation. This experiment has helped in the supply of nitrogen to the cereal and other crops besides the leguminous crops. And this experiment helps to supply the nitrogenous to the cereal, कडधान्य असतील किंवा इतर धान्याला, लेग्युमिनस क्रॉप सारख्या ते काय करतात, नायट्रोजनसचे घटक पुरवतात, जेणेकरून इट इज ग्रोथ प्रॉपरली and reduce the chemical fertilizers. Okay. Now the next microorganism, that is the yeast, and we will see the more information about this microorganism into the next video or products. Okay.